Hey guys, welcome back. In this section we're going to be going back to our My Ruby blog app, and we're going to create some controllers, possibly create some views, and really get started on the development of the app, because up to this point what we've done is a lot of learning the fundamentals of Ruby and Ruby on Rails, and we did set up our application environment in chapter 1, which sometimes can be the hardest part of any Rails app. So if you remember, in chapter 1 you should have we created an app and then we deployed it to Heroku. So what I want to do first is rename our app. So if you want to go to your Heroku account, Heroku, login, and ignore this test blog 300, that's just something else. But if you went along in chapter 1, you probably have some crazy name like this. It won't be the same because they have to be unique. That's why they have these crazy names. So what we're going to do is rename it not through the website but through the command line interface. So go back to your git bash. It should look like this red icon. Okay, click on that, and we want to get into our apps directory. So let's change directory to the C drive and then to the sites folder. Now if we list the contents in the sites folder, you'll see we have the My Ruby blog folder that we created for our app. So let's switch to that. And you can see if we list the contents, it has our entire app structure. These are all the folders and files that we went through in the last section in the PowerPoint presentation. So what I want to do now is log into Heroku, sorry, I keep calling it Heroku. And we want to do that by just typing Heroku login. And from here you want to enter the email address that you used and your password. And this is for Heroku.com. So now we get an authentication successful message. So now we're logged into Heroku, and what I'd like to do now is just do a test push just to make sure that our files are going where they're supposed to. So what you can do here is let's just edit something, just something really simple, and then we'll re-push it to Heroku. So if you go to the sites folder and then the My Ruby blog folder, you'll see, why don't we just we can do anything. Let's just go into the view for the home page. I don't want to use that. I want to use Notepad++. You can use whatever you want as far as a text editor. So let's just say let's just change the to my and save it. So now if we go back, let's do a git add. If you remember, this is what it adds, everything, all the files, if we use this period. You could also do individual files, something like that. So we're just going to add everything. And if you get this message, ignore it. It's just something to do with the naming of the files in Windows as opposed to Linux. So just ignore that. After you do the git add, let's do the git commit, and then we'll use the A and the M tag options, and then we'll just write, this is just a comment, so we'll just say test commit. Test commit. So it added us to our local repository. Now we have to push it. So git push Heroku master. So hopefully this goes okay. Alright. Okay, our app is detected. That means that it found our remote repository. Okay. Database looks good. Now we have a Postgres database. If you remember, you should have installed it, and you should have a utility called pgadmin, I believe. And we need to start our local server and database, which I'll do in a second. Alright, so it looks like everything went good. Let's go to here. We're not going to see any changes here. Well, actually, if we go into the settings, I'm sorry, not the settings, the activity, you'll see we deployed less than a minute ago. So you can see all your actions all your interactions with Heroku will be on this activity page. Now what I want to do is rename our app, and you can do it from here, but I usually do it from the command line. It's very easy. Now remember, everything is unique. All app names on Heroku are unique, so we have to pick one that hasn't been used. So hopefully My Ruby Blog hasn't been used, but I mean, it might. There's a very good chance it is. So what we want to do is do Heroku. Let's see if I remember this. Apps. Rename. And here we want to put the name we want to use. So let's do My Ruby Blog and 2 hyphens and then app, and then our old name, which is this crazy name right here. What is it? Nameless Stream 1006. Alright. And yeah, it looks like that name wasn't taken, so now we have an app called My Ruby Blog deployed on Heroku. So if we go here, this might take a minute to update. You'll see it hasn't changed yet, and if we try to click on settings and go to it, it gives us an error. This should go away within 5 minutes or so. Alright, so we renamed our app. Now what I want to do is generate a controller. We went over MVC quite a bit, model view controller, and the controller is usually, in my opinion, it should have been named CMV, because you'll always start with the controller, and with the controller you can communicate with the model, which is usually at the database. So that's where we would get certain data that's stored on the database, and then it goes back to the controller, and then it goes to a view, which is what the user sees. So we're going to start with the controller, and we can generate by using the generate script. So we'll say Rails and then generate, and you don't have to use generate. Actually, you know what? We didn't run our server yet, so scratch that. Let's open up our pgadmin database. You guys can't see my start menu. Just go to the start menu and look for, hold on a second, Postgres SQL, and then pgadmin 3. Now this is just locally. Our app has actually been deployed and is live on the web. Actually, let's check that out now. Let's reload, see if it changed. No, name didn't change yet, but it's already live, and we're using a separate production database that Heroku has provided us. This is just so we can run it locally. And I believe we already created the actual database, so let's connect to the server and enter your password that you set up, and go to databases, and you can see My Ruby Blog. You click on it and it should start up, and everything looks good. So the database is running. Just make sure you keep this open. Remember, this is just locally. When our app is deployed on Heroku, that version of our app, we don't need to run this. So don't worry about that. And the same with the server. Because right now, what I'm going to do is start the server. Because we're going to be able to go to HTTP localhost and then a colon and then 3000, which is the port. And you'll see if we go to it now, nothing happened. It's not running. But if we go Rails server or just Rails S, wait a minute. Oh, Rails S, not Rail. So now our WebBrick server is running. So again, we need to keep this open. So what you want to do is open another command line, and then you have to navigate back to see sites, and then back to my Ruby blog. Alright, so just make sure you did that, and now let's reload this and we should see our home page. Oh no, what's this? So now we're gonna have to do some real live troubleshooting, which can be a good thing. So so the first thing that comes to mind is to check the database configuration file. So go to our app folder. Where is it? I'll just reopen it. See sites, my Ruby blog, and the database configuration file is in config, and it's this database YML. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me just make these so they automatically use Notepad++. So that'll do all the YML files. Oh, looks like the Ruby files already use Notepad++. Alright, so what is this stuff? I'm going to close this. And we're going to open database.yml and just check everything out. And this could actually be the problem right here, is that this isn't lined up. This file has to be absolutely perfect. There should be a space after every colon. Okay, looks good. Alright, let's save that. Now we saved it, so let's go back. Actually, we're going to want to restart our Rails server. So go to the server command line and press Control-C to stop it, and then just start it again with Rails S. Okay, so let's go back here and reload, and still having the problem. Alright, well, what I'm going to do is pause the video and check this out and come back and I'll let you know what's going on. Alright guys, so I found the problem, and it wasn't in the code, it was actually in my database. My database user credentials weren't right for some reason. So I'm pretty sure that you're not going to have the problem I just had, because it was local to my local server and database. So if you do have that issue, make sure that database.yml file, make sure that has the correct credentials. And I just started a new server with a new database, but I kept it the same name, my Ruby blog. So so we shouldn't have any more issues with that. One thing I also noticed is that our name here in Heroku, we changed it and it's not changed, and the reason why is because after we did the rename, we didn't push to the server. So that's what we're going to do now. So what we want to do is just do git add all, and then we want to do a git commit and add on the AM option, and then for a comment we'll just say renamed app. So that's the commit. So now we got to do the push, which is git push Heroku master. So hopefully this, alright, looks like it's going. And then after this push, within a few minutes, we should see our app name change in the Heroku website. And then hopefully we're back on track. Still going. So this push, we only won't need to do this when we're done, say done for the day with our code. Then we'd push it. If you commit it, when you commit, it doesn't actually go to the server. It's just locally. So you have to push in order to get it to go to the Heroku server. So if we reload, it's still not changed. I'd say a couple more minutes. We'll try again. So we can go back to my local server, HTTPS, localhost port 3000, and you'll see this is where we were seeing that active record error, which is now fixed. So let's try this, reload. Still hasn't changed it here, but if we go to what did we name it? My Ruby blog. We should be able to still access it this way. See, here we go, right here. It did change. It's just that screen hasn't updated yet, our backend screen. So this is our actual live deployment URL. myrubyblog.herokuapp.com. So reload, and now you'll see here it was also updated. We can now go into the settings and we can see the activity where we pushed 4 minutes ago. So there was a couple unexpected twists in this section. So in the next section we're going to create a controller and model and view and do all that good stuff. So I will see you in the next video.